Hi, I'm Jo from J.H.Leather and welcome to the first video in my new mini-series, Leathercraft 101. This mini-series is aimed at those of you who are new to leather crafting or are looking to get started and aims to simplify things to help you in your leather crafting journey. For those of you already crafting, these videos are going to be packed with information that you should find helpful to help you in your own crafting. So in video 1 of Leathercraft 101, we are going to be looking at leather. Now, we're not going to go in too much depth on this subject, but I'm going to cover the points that I think are important to know when getting started. Now, there are two main types of leathers, one being vegetable tanned and the other being chrome tanned. Vegetable tan leather has been the chosen tanning process for centuries and is made up with a mixture of organic materials like bark and plant matter. It can take up to 12 months to produce a vegetable tanned hide, making vegetable tanned leather very expensive when compared to its chrome tanned counterparts. Vegetable tanned leather is generally more firm than its chrome tanned counterparts and can be easily moulded and embossed. Vegetable tanned leather is also incredibly strong and comes in a range of thicknesses and cuts, which we'll go into later in this video. Moving on to chrome tanning. Now, this is a more industrial process where chromium salts are used to tan the hides. Chrome tanning is a lot quicker than vegetable tanning and is one of the reasons why it is a lot less expensive to purchase. When compared to vegetable tanned leather, chrome tanned hides are generally softer and much more flexible. They're also a lot lighter in weight and are incredibly strong and have better water resistant properties when compared to veg tanned hides. Chrome tanned leather is used in the majority of products around the world, from high-end fashion through to upholstery and accessories. As with a lot of products, there are different grades when it comes to leather. One skin can be split down into multiple hides, so it's good to know what the differences are between these grades. Full grain leather is considered the gold star of leather and is made from the topmost outer part of the hide, making this one of the strongest hides that you can purchase. It also features natural characteristics like scars and growth marks, making each hide unique. Top grain leather is also taken from the topmost outer part of the hide, however it's had its surface altered, so this has been sanded to give a more consistent look and smooth finish to each of the hides. Split leather is where the topmost outer skin has actually been removed from the hide, and a good example of this is suede. Now this is going to be soft, flexible and a little bit stretchy. And it's not going to be as strong as the other two hides that we have previously talked about. Genuine leather, while still being leather, is the bottommost split of the hide and is therefore the lowest quality, and it's not going to be as strong as any of the other leathers that we have previously talked about. It is generally used in mass-produced products that you're going to find in department stores. We now get on to bonded leather. Now, this is a man-made material using leather scraps that have been bonded together to make a uniform material. So think MDF of the leathercraft world. For most of our handmade leather crafting, we are going to be using full or top grain leathers. However, some of the lesser quality hides do have their place, for example in prototyping and reinforcements. A quick word on leather finishes. Now, you can choose to buy a natural leather and then if you want to, you can apply your own finish using a variety of methods, or you can purchase a hide that has had the finish already applied. I personally like to use finish hides where the finishing treatment and colour have been applied professionally, as they have a more consistent look throughout the hide than what I could ever get myself. It also saves me time when making products, as I don't have to do the extra step of dyeing and finishing each piece. Leather can also be embossed in a number of patterns. Crocodile, Scotch grain, hatch and hair cell are all different patterns that can be embossed into leather, and this can be done on both chrome and vegetable tanned hides. Now that we know a bit more about leather, we can have a look at the different pieces that you can purchase. Leather can be categorized into hides and skins. So hides are going to be from large animals like cows, whereas skins are from smaller animals like goats and pigs. Due to their size, skins are generally sold as whole pieces of leather, whereas hides are generally cut down into smaller pieces. The largest pieces of leather that you can get are the whole hide, which is the whole hide of the animal, or a side, where the hide has been split down the spine. Now, both of these pieces are more common in chrome tanned leathers where big panels are needed, for example in upholstery or when making a holdall. A shoulder of leather is the shoulders of the animal and is the most commonly stocked vegetable tanned leather. This is a very versatile leather and can be used on a multitude of products, from card holders to bags and belts. A butt is taken from behind the shoulders to the butt of the animal and can be sold either as a whole butt or as a half pear or a half butt, where the leather has been split down the spine. The butt is taken from the strongest part of the hide and has two main strength areas, which are along the spine and at the butt of the animal. This is due to added movement on the shoulders and belly of the animals, where the fibres are much looser. Butts are nice long hides and are generally 60 to 65 inches in length, making them great when you need a long strap. Due to the length and strength of a butt, they are commonly used in the equine industry to make bridles and head collars. This is also the reason why I choose a butt to make my belts, dog collars and leads, and also on areas of bags where strength is a consideration. A bit less common is a back. Now this includes the shoulder and butt area of the animals, but removes the bellies. Like the butt, this can be bought as a whole piece or as a half where it's been cut down the spine. As you can imagine, a back is incredibly long, averaging around the 7-foot mark. Now these are generally used in the equine industry for things like long reins and for traces used in harness. Before we move on, something to note is that many leather resellers are going to sell their leather in smaller pieces where they have been cut down into more manageable panels or into strips. Now this is something to consider when getting started because a whole hide can set you back over £150. Now the cost per square foot will be higher for these panels and straps. However, if you're making smaller items or don't want to buy a whole hide, they are something to consider. As we have just learnt, leather comes in a variety of sizes and thicknesses, and when starting out, knowing what to use on what project can be a bit daunting. So in this last part of the video, we're going to be going over a few different projects and what thicknesses and leathers I like to use on them. Now this is meant to be a guide for what I would use on these products and is in no means what you have to use on them, and you can develop your own preferences over time. Now for projects like wallets and card holders, I like to use 0.9mm to 1.5mm leather, and this can be either chrome tanned or veg tanned leather. Now for projects like notebook and passport covers or keyrings, I quite like to use a 1.5mm vegetable tan shoulder. For soft bags, like a tote bag, I generally like to use a 1.5mm leather, and this can be chrome or vegetable tanned. So if you're choosing to use a vegetable tanned leather on this, then a milled shoulder has gone through a process to make it more flexible and is what I use to make the tote bag in my video. For a small shoulder bag where I want something which has a bit more structure to it, then I would choose a 2 to 2.5mm vegetable tan shoulder. For larger bags like satchels or cartridge bags, then a thicker 3 to 3.5mm veg tan shoulder is going to be ideal for this. Now when it comes to things like dog collars, leads and belts, you can use a thick shoulder for this, or if you need the length or prefer to, you can use a 3.5 to 4mm butt, and that is what my preferred leather is for those items. So we have covered quite a lot of things in this video, and I hope that you have found it helpful. So if you enjoyed watching, please click that thumbs up button, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing for more videos and tutorials, and I shall see you in the next video. So, tanned using a mixture of organic materials like vegetables, where the leather has been split down the spine of the stupor. Done.